always feels weird to say when we're not actually live.
Yeah.
Like tonight. We're not actually live.
It's a pre-tape.
It's a pre-tape.
It's a pre-tape. We can't lie.
When you see this, it will seem as though we're live, even though we're spoiling that for you now.
But it was so much fun last time, I just have to say, because we got to be involved in the conversation in the chat room with everybody.
Right.
And so that made it a blast. I have to say, though, I was jealous of myself for doing a show that I had just recorded. Like, well, I want to do a show. Well, but I did.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird jealousy to have, since you did do the show.
Yeah. How was your week?
How was it was very busy. Mm-hmm. Very, very busy, yes.
Well, wait a minute.
What? Oh.
Cheers. Look at my new dollar store find.
Nice. Cheers.
Cheers.
What you got today?
Yeah. You're using a fancy rock in there.
I am. I didn't want to water down my drink.
I'm drinking a gin and tonic. And I have a whiskey rock story, but tell me what you're drinking.
So I'm drinking our favorite tamarind vodka, spicy tamarind vodka.
Yes.
With a splash of tamarind soda, as well as some coconut pineapple seltzer.
It's very fancy.
It's quite good.
It's healthy also. I think it's pretty healthy.
Super healthy. Antioxidants in the tamarind. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm actually making that up. I have no idea if tamarind is healthy at all. I don't know.
But your week was busy.
It was. I can't remember what I did. But it was busy.
I was in a car accident. That was fun.
That sounds fun. What happened?
Oh, look, I have lipstick on my teeth like my old ballet teacher. I was hit from behind at a stoplight by a woman whose flip-flop got stuck in a gas pedal. So that was awesome, but this leads into my whiskey rock story. So I tore my little bicep here, and I really mean little because I don't have any upper body strength. And I went, while I was waiting on my prescriptions, I bought some ice packs, like those ones that you can just crack, and none of them worked.
Oh.
So, yeah, none of them worked. So I was like, what? And I didn't have any regular ice packs in my freezer, so I grabbed my whiskey rocks and went, boop.
You know,
and I put a face mask around it to hold it there. I'm just saying, in a crisis, I can figure things out.
You can. I am. The entire time, every time you said whiskey rocks, I was thinking this was about a glass of whiskey with rocks in it. Not.
How dumb do you think I am?
Not whiskey rocks.
Whiskey rocks.
I didn't know what the end of the story was yet. I didn't know what I thought you were gonna end up saying like, and the pain was so bad, I just drank a whiskey on the rocks instead.
No, I substituted that for an ice pack.
I don't know. I think I'm onto something, and you probably should have done it my way.
Probably.
I think you'd be a lot happier now.
Well, I had some muscle relaxers, and we don't like to mix, kids, but sometimes we do.
Right. And of course, the other lesson was we shouldn't wear flip-flops when we drive.
Don't wear flip-flops.
I do it all the time. I do. Then all the time. I know. Well, now
I could have died, Crissy. I could have died.
I didn't do that to you,
Oh.
It wasn't me behind you. But it is a good cautionary tale. I actually, yesterday, because of your tale, wore full shoes.
Mm-hmm. This
is fascinating conversation.
Yeah. This is our PSA to not wear flip-flops when you're driving.
Right.
Because...
yeah.
It's dangerous.
LA moved into the orange? Is that where we are now?
Yellow, right?
Yellow,
yeah.
I can't keep track because they don't make sense to me. Like red should have been... Track. Red should have been the, like, most restrictive tier as far as I'm concerned. Mm-hmm. And not purple. Purple's like nice. Purple seems like cool and like you're ready to relax, but
well, it's a color of royalty.
Yeah. So
I don't know what that means.
I don't know who picked it. But I keep getting confused. But are you ready to go, like, party down in some bars?
No, actually, in fact, I was invited to a birthday party on Saturday, and I thought it was at somebody's house. Mm-hmm. kind of a famous person, but I'm not going to say who it is. I'm just kidding. It's not that famous. But I thought it was at somebody's house.
You're not going to say because they're not that famous, or you're not going to say because you don't want to, like, blow the famous person? Like, you know, who it was.
I don't want to blow the famous
Well,
person.
it's not that. Maybe you do want to blow. I don't want to get in on your, like...
No. It doesn't matter who it is. I'm just saying, like, they invited, and I thought it was at their house, and it turns out it's at an actual bar with multiple parties. We got a message saying, please show up at 9:30 because there's other parties going on, and we want to make sure you get in, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, no. So I declined. I can't. I'm not ready. No, not unless, like, 90% of the people in the United States are vaccinated.
Oh.
Then I'll go out.
Well, then you won't be in a bar for a very long time.
Yeah.
And don't go to the South or the Midwest.
Oh, I have to go to the South. My mom's retiring. We've got to celebrate her.
Yeah, well, no, yeah. Guess you're not celebrating in a bar.
No.
All right. Well, we have some excellent guests tonight. Look, they're always excellent. I love our guests. But tonight we have
it feels so empty. I know you're introducing, but it just feels so empty because we're recording without an audience.
You mean like your soul feels empty?
No, just I don't know the space. There's no one to chat with. I mean, I guess you're fine.
I'm fine.
Continue with your intro.
I'm going to start over. No, some lovely friends that I haven't spoken to in a while, so this is actually other than like the 5 minutes backstage when we were setting this up. But so excited to talk to these guys. We have Janie Haddad Tompkins and Paul F. Tompkins. Please welcome them.
Hey.
I like
it.
Cheers. Cheers. See, it's like we're together.
It is. It's like we're together through magic.
Magic, not science.
Science.
Technology.
It's so funny when I was like a kid, and because I used to talk on the phone a bunch, with my friends, and in my mind, I imagined how amazing it would be if we could see one another, like somehow.
You manifested quarantine.
I did.
You manifested COVID.
But now that it's here, it's like I'd rather.
You've got to be specific with your.
Yeah.
Your visions.
Has the Twilight Zone taught us nothing? This is how
exactly.
wishes work.
That's right.
There's always a downside. Yeah.
Yes, you have to be specific. I mean, also though, Janie, I think you're a little clairvoyant.
Yeah. We're gonna start backwards because I started listening. I didn't even know you guys had a podcast that you had started until Crissy let me know. Well, I mean, I listen to lots of podcasts. Like I do love him. And I genuinely do listen to a ton of them, but I started listening when we found out that you guys were coming on, and thank God you guys started like right as
you guys
COVID
started right away.
Janie,
pretty soon, yeah.
You
nailed it.
You knew everything that was going to happen.
You
predicted.
Said I was clairvoyant, but I promise you, all I did was
listen to the news.
Yeah. Like, I literally was like, I need to find some virologists and epidemiologists and see what they're saying. And then I was like, okay, 18 months, God, okay, 4 years fastest vaccine, but we advanced, maybe 2 years, we might have a vaccine. I don't know. Like, people were like, oh my gosh, how did you know? And I'm like, I didn't know. People who went to school for this knew.
But Jenny, you didn't say a student of COVID-19.
That was all I could grab onto at the beginning because I was suffering from so much fear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the only thing I could deal with were facts. Like that was all I could do was just be like, okay, factually, what is like, how do we know this is transmitted? Blah, 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 blah. Like, so I was just like kind of in a zone of like listening to different scientists' podcasts about viruses, and there was a lot I did not know. Like I did not know.
Well, I know way too much about all this stuff now.
I was saying to some friends the other day, like we have never known the brand of our vaccines before, ever.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
now
he's like, oh,
we can
flu-
tell you the
flu
efficacy
shot.
of our vaccines, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a
Of
and I
each
didn't
brand.
know that there were different types of vaccines. Like I didn't know any of that stuff. Like when they started talking about vaccine development, like it blew my mind. I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
They've been working on this for decades. Like
And
this
that
is
they're
huge.
yeah, the different types, the different
Mhm.
kinds of vaccine of this particular
Mhm.
vaccine even. Yeah, it's crazy. And the fact that the biggest superstar in our world for so long has been Anthony Fauci.
Yes. And he's been around the whole
time. I mean, he's been through all of it too. The AIDS crisis,
yes.
like all of it. It's
Totally.
But this was really his time.
It was.
really
For
was.
sure.
This
He
is
became
when
a
he.
superstar.
This was what it all led up to.
The worldwide.
It's all been. This is his moment. This is his moment.
He's a silver
Yeah.
fox now because that helps. You know, it helps.
Yeah.
You know, like he looks smarter. I think.
Yeah.
And
Wait, speaking of brands, what brands have you guys
vaccines. What's your
gotten?
brands?
how's
What's your
Moderna?
Pfizer.
Dolly Parton.
We're Pfizer's.
I wanted
Yeah.
Dolly.
Okay,
We wanted
Pfizer.
Dolly. We wanted
If
Dolly.
you got Dolly, you probably would have gotten really sick. Because
That's what I
I
heard.
got really sick both times.
Stronger side effects with
Yes.
Moderna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand because it's the same technology as Pfizer, but
See, and you know that now.
yeah.
But Pfizer you could get the second dose in 3 weeks. Moderna, we had to wait 4 weeks. I don't know about
Well,
that.
Pfizer,
Yeah.
because we did Walgreens, they defaulted us to.
We did Walgreens.
They
By the
default-
wine section, because I know some people who are Walgreens in the wine section, and that's where they got it.
No.
What? I
Just
didn't
wondering.
know. No, it was not that. I
St.
wish.
John's. I'm St. John's. I
St. John's, sure. I heard good
Dodger
things.
Stadium. I mean, I don't want to brag. Dodger Stadium.
That would
Go
have been
blue.
very LA.
But I have to say, I think it's so smart that you guys started so soon because we waited to start this little thing because we were just like in this depression, and then we started it because we were like, we have to see our friends. We need to talk to people. But you guys, I haven't listened to all of it, but it's such a smart documentation of this time, and you guys have recorded it.
We weren't even
that was
thinking of
not
that at all.
I think we just blindly thought we needed something to do.
Yeah. It was Janie's
That was
idea. And then I was like, yeah, that sounds great. And then we just made it like a date night every week since we couldn't go anywhere. So we would like have a nice dinner and eat dinner at the table.
Yeah.
And then we would get the recording equipment
And
out
just
and do the
record
podcast. Yeah.
while having a cocktail, and that was it. And then it turned into kind of like this thing where we had to do it because it was comforting for us. But then people would reach out and say, oh, this is so comforting. I'm alone. This feels like I'm with people, or I have, I'm alone with my partner, and I like to reflect what other couples are, or whatever their situation was. And I was like, oh, wow, this is big. I'm codependent now on like our listeners.
Yeah.
In a way where it feels like,
Well, it's a symbiotic relationship.
yeah. Yes.
I think especially with a podcast, because Claudia, I listen to a lot of podcasts too, and it's the really conversational ones.
Yeah.
Where it is that parasocial relationship, and you feel like, oh, I'm hanging out with my friends. And so when people would tell us that, I was like, I get that completely. I have shows like that too, where it's like there is something that's really comforting about that, to just listen to like people that you think are nice, having a fun conversation, or not even a fun conversation sometimes, but we're really grateful to you do a thing, you throw it out there, and you're like, I don't know if anyone's ever gonna fucking listen to this thing.
I mean, we had a little feather in our cap though, because you are famous in the podcast circuit.
Yes. You have had maybe 1,000 podcasts.
Yes, so far.
Yes. And he's just like constantly on podcasts, and it was so I think we had a little bit of like, oh, Paul is doing a podcast. What is this thing? What is this?
So we got some looky-loos from that.
And that was good. I mean, we're not like huge or anything. We're not being like bought by Sirius
Yet.
You're not going to move to Austin after Spotify buys you out?
No, but I wish. But it's more like, okay, well, steady little listenership that enough to.
I didn't know about this desire to move to Austin.
Paul, did you not know this?
I'm a little jealous of people who have moved.
A lot of people are
anywhere?
moving. A lot of people are moving everywhere.
Anywhere, because I think I don't have like a place necessarily, but there is a little seed of fantasy of like, what would we
always
be like?
Yeah.
What would it be like to have this alternative life?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
So we talk about that a lot. I feel like once a
I
month we
asked
have that
him.
conversation.
He doesn't ever. He's like, we're gonna die in this house.
Paul,
I'm
I'm kind of like that. I'm kind of
really?
like that.
You're like that?
Well, in LA, like about LA,
In LA.
like not
Well,
necessarily
and
the
he's
space, because you
diehard
know
LA.
I move a lot. I move a lot.
But
While I'm like, what's up with Vietnam? What can I get a house out here? Like I'm like, I told Crissy a few weeks ago after seeing Nomadland, I was like, I think I'm ready to be in a van.
And I was like, absolutely not. I am not ready to travel the country.
That life was not for me, but I loved that film so much.
Loved it.
I appreciated it. Like it spoke to me on so many different layers of everything. Now, if you had to move, Claudia, where would you? Well, I know you'll stay here, Crissy. You don't want to leave LA, but where would you?
I have my like, if I had to move, place.
Like a fantasy. Like okay, if you had to move and everything was like, okay, like if you say Paris or something, you're allowed to work there or be, whatever. Like if it was just easy, where would you both move?
All right.
Well, first I would say I would get a place in Dallas because my parents are there, and I know they're getting older, so I'd like to have help my family out, and but then I've also I went to Cuba a few years ago, and I have a soft spot in my heart for that place now because the people are so lovely, and they're not. I mean, unfortunately, they're not as connected, which is also a good and a bad thing. But it was really nice to be there for a week and be totally disconnected.
Yeah.
And just experience nature and talk to people. I met so many wonderful people. So
cool.
I have a soft spot, and they're slowly shifting, out of their old regime, which is kind of nice. So
yeah, that's cool.
Crissy?
Okay, Crissy.
I have a couple. My dream alternative living situation would be in Maui.
Oh yes,
wow,
yes,
sure, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I would move there in a second. But if it were in the country. I mean, I love New York, but I wouldn't want to live there permanently. I love visiting New York. I think, I did a show in Denver a few years back, and I loved it. Denver
Really?
was great.
I've never
I had
been.
no idea.
It's a great city.
I had no idea that I was going to love it so
friends
much.
spending the pandemic there right now.
Oh, that's right.
They've been there for a year.
Because his parents are from Colorado,
My
excuse me, and so they went there to wait things out. It's
Colorado.
Is it?
Yes,
Colorado.
it is.
I say Rado.
Paul, I'm gonna fight you on this one because really it's a Spanish word, Colorado.
Look,
Oh,
are we going to get into Los Feliz territory now?
that's what my mom says. And I'm
Los
like,
Angeles. We're in Los
please.
Angeles.
It's a Nevada. It's one of those where it should
Yes.
be your body wants to say it the correct way, but then the people who live there will get mad at you.
Yes, that's true.
Well, I've
That's
never
true.
been to Denver, but we did go to Boulder that one time, and it was so pretty.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah. I was really pleasantly surprised, and Denver as a city has worked really hard for the last at least decade to make it very arts centric.
Oh,
Oh my
cool.
God.
Their
The
arts
theater
are
scene there
amazing.
is, it's amazing.
Really?
Theater
Yeah.
scene, the music scene, just it's really fantastic.
That is so cool.
It all
It's really
starts
great.
with that nutty airport, and then
I love that
it goes
airport.
from there.
I love
There's
the airport.
so much. There is a lot going on in that airport.
It's like a Cirque du Soleil setup.
Well, isn't it cursed or something? The blue
that
devil.
statue,
horse.
Yeah.
the horse, right? The big
It's
horse.
cursed or something. There's a whole
Terrifying.
thing about it.
Well,
there's a lot of legends.
Do you know
about
the
this.
story?
There's a lot of legends
No,
about the airport.
I didn't hear
well,
the story.
there's a real story about that. So from what I've been told, the real story, and actually I did look it up, I think when I was there, is the artist who made that statue, that big horse, was killed by it.
Boy.
It fell on him.
That's why it's a cursed place or something.
Yeah.
I'll Google it's a thing is going, yeah.
But yeah, I would never expect that. Or maybe Spain. I would go to Spain.
I've never
Denver
been
or
to
Spain?
I've never been.
I haven't been
Yeah,
either.
there we go.
Song
Yeah.
called that.
I would love
Elvis,
to go.
never been to Spain.
I feel like
I've never
the way
been.
we
That's right.
The way we always phrase
right.
it is where could you live? Like if you had to move to another city, where do you feel like you could live a life that you wanted to lead? You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like I could do that in London. I feel like I could live in London.
You got to be rich to live in London.
Yeah,
there's
that. There's that.
But this is like if you had
this
to
is
go,
pie in the
like
sky.
If you, yeah.
Like
right.
we
pie in the sky.
Yeah. London seems so amazing.
Yeah.
I would live in London.
And you're just so close to all the other countries.
Yes, yes.
You could just train everywhere.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Just
that would be
funnel
nice.
it up.
Yes.
Well, same with Spain. Like you can go to, train to all of those places.
Yeah, you'd have to speak different Spanish. You have to do
Well,
that.
I could get by. I would just have to add a list.
Yeah.
Corazón. Yeah, that's what I got.
That's how Gwyneth Paltrow speaks Spanish. She has that.
It is?
Because she did she did like a study abroad there. So anytime you hear her speak Spanish, it's always the Castilian, like the,
Barcelona.
So does Hilaria Baldwin also speak like that?
I forgot about her.
Remember?
what do you call this?
I saw an article about
say
Gwyneth
zucchini?
Paltrow
Cucumber?
yesterday that Gwyneth Paltrow was spotted going through the back entrance of the DMV for VIP treatment, and someone took a picture and put it online, and they were dragging her.
Good.
Good.
I remember when I had to get a license.
Yes.
Before I had my license, I had a state ID, and I had to get it renewed. And I thought like they would just send you an updated card. I didn't realize I had to go like another appointment and do the. It's not a driver's license. So I'm like, really, I got to do this? And the lady said, everybody has to do this. She's like, Johnny Carson, when he needs to, this is how long ago this was. Johnny Carson needs to get his license, he has to go to the DMV. And it's like, yeah, but he goes to like what, the fucking Malibu DMV? There's 4 people there.
Right.
Johnny Carson.
It's funny that, Gwyneth would be slammed for that. Dave, back in the day, the news radio days, said that he got the VIP treatment for the DMV.
Wow.
He did?
Dave.
Well, perks.
Dave got
perks.
Dave, I might have to leak this to...
And drag him.
Please, you know what? Please do. Please do. Because could use the publicity.
Now, Hilaria Baldwin, who I didn't really know who she was until...
Nobody did.
Yeah.
I did.
She's
because
like an influencer, right?
Well,
you were aware of her before, Claudia?
A little bit, just because I used to work at a restaurant in Beverly Hills, and they would come in as a couple. So I have seen them fight quite a bit.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I think we all know Alex not the calmest of personalities.
I don't mean to brag, but I did a commercial with him.
Oh my God.
Really?
And he had a heart out because Obama was in town, and he was going to.
Was he going to that Clooney dinner or whatever?
$20 million plate dinner or whatever, and he was so alpha on. I mean, he was so alpha on. Like he was giving me line readings, and like at that time, like he won an Emmy or whatever, and I'm like, oh, how is it? Tell me how to do it, like whatever. But then afterwards, I was like, oh. That felt yucky. It didn't feel like creative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, he and Kelsey Grammer have a project going, and somebody tweeted, "God help those PAs."
He used to work with Kelsey Grammer.
I was just gonna say
exaggeration.
I've waited on Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
I've waited at the same restaurant.
He's the alpha, or he's just narcissist.
Do you know what happened with that project?
What? Because I saw it, like, I was like, oh, I know Paul, but maybe I should, like, brush up on things he's done. And I was like, Kelsey Grammer sketch show?
Well,
I remember that.
The sitcom with Alec Baldwin and Kelsey Grammer was a 2-series order. Like, this was going to go... No, 2 series.
2 series.
Like it was going straight to series.
Straight to series.
Oh, 2 series.
Yes.
2 series.
And this was going to be on the air no matter what. And then the network watched and it said no.
What? That means that they paid a lot of money then because you get penalized for that.
Yeah.
So they would rather pay
It's a pay or play,
money.
for sure. Yeah. That's how bad this show was.
Wait.
Where they were like, we can't.
Oh my God.
We're in charge of putting garbage on the air. This is too much for us.
Honestly, I would kill for a copy of that. If anyone, if
absolutely.
any of your viewers,
absolutely,
any of your viewers,
please
DM
if you're out there and you have a copy of the Adam.
I know you.
I
know you geeks have it out there.
Wyatt,
somebody's got it.
I will not say how I got a copy, and I won't even tell anyone. Really, it'll just be.
And it'll be untraceable.
I mean. Yeah.
Kelsey only ever.
Who would know?
Put it in a Dropbox. Like set up a dummy Dropbox and a fake Twitter account and send it to me that way, and I'll never have to know who you are.
Yes, I worked with Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
In 2004, there was a British sketch show called The Sketch Show that Kelsey Grammer's company bought the rights to. And this is like a show that I found out later has been syndicated like all over the world. Like various countries have bought this and done their own version of it. Like the same sketches in different languages. And so it was called Kelsey Grammer Presents the Sketch Show. Kelsey Grammer would appear in like the first sketch and the last sketch. But for the most part, it was me and 3 other Americans and a guy named Lee Mack, who was from the original British cast. And we shot these sketches in London using like the original sets that they had. I don't know why.
Did they show it?
Somehow it was cheaper to do it. Did they show it in America?
Yeah, they did. Like
they did.
3 episodes.
I think it got canceled before the full season was aired.
What network?
Fox.
Well, and he had that improv show too, right? Like it was like some improv challenge show or whatever. And I know like every improviser in Los Angeles was on it. And I feel like it was around the same time, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Like mid 2000s or whatever.
Yeah.
To mid 2000s, yeah.
Wow.
He had his hand in the. Yeah, I think
he was. He was trying to become a major player, I guess. In the
he only tips 15%.
He's no Jane Lynch.
He what? He tipped you 15%?
He only tips 15%. That's
really?
all he does. Yeah, and it drives. And he was always nice. He was never an issue. Always very kind, and would say, "Hey, I used to work in a steakhouse myself." Blah blah blah. But it would only tip 15%, and I'm like, I know how much money you make.
Oh wow.
I know.
That's crazy.
No excuse.
What was the restaurant, may I ask?
Yeah, I don't work there anymore. So it's a Cut in Beverly Hills. It's a Wolfgang Puck steakhouse. Right? Yeah.
Oh, and there's one in Vegas, right?
Yeah, there's one in Vegas. There's one in London, in Shanghai. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
15%.
Lots of good stories out of that place, though.
Oh, I'm sure.
A lot of good stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You had a lot of.
Yeah.
People come through there.
I like stories like that. If you think of any, you can tell.
Some off-air.
I'll say like the nicest person in the world is Vince Gilligan. If you ever get a chance to work with Vince Gilligan, he's just like he always remembers you. Yeah, and he's so sweet. And his girlfriend, I mean, they've been together like 100 years, but he's like, this is my girlfriend, and I'm like, oh my god, you guys are so nice. Yeah.
I binged Better Call Saul during the pandemic because I'd never seen it. I was a big I had a weird block where, like, when Breaking Bad was over, I was so sad because I loved it.
Me too.
So good. It was perfect.
We're gonna do this spinoff, and I was like, I don't know. That feels like gilding the lily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I just never got into it. And so many people said it was like their favorite show. So they might even like it more than Breaking Bad. And I was like, okay, so I finally was like, I'm going to binge it. I binged it the pandemic, and now I'm caught up and I'm ready for the new season. And
it's so good.
I'm still behind. I think I only got like maybe the 2 seasons.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Crissy.
But I liked it.
You have to catch up.
I'm sorry, Paul.
He watched it, and so he had already seen it. But then when I was watching it,
I had the same skepticism. Yeah.
Watch it. You know?
Of course, why wouldn't you? I mean, a lot of the times these things don't really. I mean, who's watching Sons of Anarchy, the Mayans? Nobody's watching the Mayans, and we should be.
Oh, I didn't realize that was a spinoff of Sons of Anarchy.
You're watching the Mayans?
Yeah.
No.
I watch Mayans. Yes.
You do? You like it?
It's
But
a
did you watch
soap
Sons of
opera.
Anarchy?
Yes, and
It's
it's just like that. It's a soap opera.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, so
With
the
men.
Mexicans love it then.
It's a soap opera with men.
I'm Mexican. I should be watching and
Yeah.
supporting, but I'm.
I mean,
Now,
yeah,
are you from
totally.
Dallas or your parents
Yeah.
live there? Okay. 'Cause
No, from.
I went to grad school in Dallas.
Where'd you go?
I went to SMU.
Oh, that's my little sister's alma mater.
It is?
Yeah,
I
she was a
was
dance major though.
Oh, I was acting, but it's such a
They have a great-
Great program there.
And I got a
fun.
scholarship, and I lived there for 3 years, and I loved it.
Did you love it? Yeah. It's funny because I just hated it growing up, and now it's all. I'm like, I gotta buy a house there.
That's how I
nostalgic.
feel about
Yeah.
growing up in South Carolina. I want to get back,
Do
but
you?
sometimes I think about it, but then the reality of it. I mean, I loved being there because it's a beautiful place, and there's beaches, and it's coastal,
Yeah.
and the one thing that
Beautiful.
it has in common with Dallas in a way is it's real foodie.
Yes.
Dallas
Yeah.
has great restaurants.
Yeah.
Great restaurants.
It
yeah.
does,
I love
especially
eating-
now. Yeah.
Yes,
It's really
I love
amazing.
eating out in restaurants.
Has great restaurants, but all I want to eat is Whataburger or
Really?
Torchy's tacos, like all the
Torchy's,
shit.
yes.
Yeah.
But the Tex-Mex though, come on.
I'm gonna. Where
The
are you?
blue goose or whatever.
She did a show. She did a show in Dallas. What was it, last year? No, 2 years ago. Oh my god.
2019.
Yeah.
Dallas
The
Theater
Dallas
Center.
Theater Center.
Yeah.
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 And they would send me pictures. Her and Tiffany would send me pictures of them like eating like street tacos, California style. And I was like,
Mexican tacos.
what are you doing?
Not California tacos.
No,
California
you gotta
tacos.
Actual Mexican
queso
tacos.
and
California tacos.
No.
You gotta do the queso.
There's a in the queso.
I did
Oh my
that
god.
too. I did that too. I love a good
I
queso.
had never had queso till I went to Dallas for the first time, and it was like that was all I wanted to eat.
Well, you can get it at Big Lots. You can get On the Border or Taco Bell queso at Big Lots. Just letting you know.
Taco Bell queso.
I did, yeah, but I like Dallas for that. But also there's culture there. I mean, like,
But that's like
Now.
now they do.
Now.
When I was a
used to
kid,
be.
because I grew up in the ballet world. I was dancing ballet, and I danced with Ballet Dallas until they folded, and it was not like it is now. It's changed
Right.
a bunch, which is
I
great.
used to go through there in the late '90s with the band with Elvez,
Mm-hmm.
and was not my favorite city by a stretch.
Right.
Like, it was
It's
actually
changed a
my
lot.
least favorite city before Phoenix. So
oh really?
Oh, come on.
I don't think I've been to
Besides,
Phoenix.
what?
well,
Oh, come on.
now
Well, Phoenix
now
is
You've
that's
been to El
changed.
Paso?
No, Phoenix
on.
is not great.
Yeah, but El
Okay.
Paso is right next to Juarez.
Yeah.
So
I've never
that
been
was
there.
always fun.
Do you know one of the
I want to
most-
go to Marfa. I want to visit Marfa.
I'd like to go to
Marfa's
Marfa's
Marfa,
cool.
too. I've never
cool.
been.
Marfa's cool.
I
Yeah.
would love to go there. Yeah.
My least favorite Texas city was Houston. I did a week of shows
Because
there one
Houston
time.
is shit.
It was horrible. Like it was just a bad experience.
Yeah.
It's definitely,
Used to be the only city in Texas I liked was Austin.
yeah,
Yeah.
Austin's
Now
so great.
Dallas is up there.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
Dallas.
Oh, cool.
Now, speaking of dance, the first time I met Claudia was
Yes.
as a dancer.
Yes.
A million years ago. I was
Yes.
doing a Christmas show at Largo, and we were doing a musical number where we sang.
Al Green, right?
It was what? Sorry,
Was it Al Green, right?
Barry White.
Oh, Barry White. Barry White.
You're my first, my last,
Oh
my
my
everything,
God.
dedicated to
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes.
And so, what was the name of your partner?
Largo?
Dedicated to Jesus.
Dedicated to Jesus, the Alpha and the Omega.
You mean the Largo?
Beginning and the end.
No, the
New
one.
now Largo.
Cornet.
Yeah.
And tell me the name of your partner, that young man.
Oh God. See, I don't even know
It was
because
a while ago.
It was a while ago, but I got him through my friend Leslie because you asked me to do this, and then it was around Christmas time, and like everybody's on tour, everybody's like out of town or doing shows, so it was really hard to like track a dude. I even asked my friend Leonora. I was like, "Can you pretend to be a dude?" She was like,
Leonora.
"Oh, are you,
It
Lila?"
has to be the same Leonora, right?
Leonora knows everyone,
Wow.
and she's a great dancer. I mean, she's
She
a
is.
beautiful dancer.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that she was a dancer.
Oh, yeah,
She-
yeah.
we still well
I mean,
we
she's an
were
actress.
taking.
I know her
That's
as
what-
an actress.
That's where
Like,
we
you
met.
know,
We met dancing in a company 100 years ago
Wow.
out here. But I even asked her, and she was like, "Well, I'm like 7 months pregnant, so I don't know if they're gonna buy it." I'm like,
I
"Okay,
should
all
have
right."
short hair so she could do the dude thing maybe, but
Yeah, because the concept was during the musical break, dancers would come out as Mary and Joseph and do like, I think the instruction was
I think I remember this.
a very it was like a trashy person's idea of what a really classy dance would be,
Yeah.
and these guys nailed it. It was perfect. Like there was grinding at one
Yeah,
point.
it was very similar to our Chewbacca monkey dance. That
Right.
little
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
It was really, really funny.
Wow.
That was so
I
much
hope there's
fun.
video of that. You digitized.
I hope
do
I,
you?
I hope I do. I'm gonna look. I've been digitizing.
Oh, please.
Christy knows. I digitized.
Yeah.
I found an old show
Oh, yeah.
that we did. 2001 was it?
I want to
2002?
see this. I want to see
Gotta
the
be.
digitizing.
It was a show called Voiceovers at the Top. Voiceovers at the Top, which was about a husband and wife voiceover artist team who thought they were detectives and they solved. They thought they saw crimes everywhere, but there was never any crime.
I like that.
And
sounds
Chrissy
good.
played various roles in it. It was it really holds up. Like
It
the
was
stuff
fun.
I watched from
Yeah,
it
it
was really
does.
funny.
Who wrote
Yeah.
it?
It was me and Karen Kilgariff
Oh,
wrote
okay.
it, and we were the husband and wife.
You were the
team.
husband and wife, yeah.
We did
Okay.
fake commercials. Like it was a really funny.
fun.
show.
It was fun. It was a lot
It was
of
really
fun.
funny. I think we should remount it because that was 20 years ago.
It's the anniversary.
It's the anniversary
Oh
year. Yeah.
my god!
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
I think we should do it again.
We should totally do it.
That would be fun.
Now that maybe we could have audiences again.
And I was like, "Remember shows?"
Well, no, Broadway's reopening.
I know.
Heard.
They're
September.
selling tickets in September, full capacity.
That's crazy.
I know. Well, here's the
capacity.
thing, though.
For
Those
September.
Yeah.
Wow.
those
Yeah.
theaters are so tiny, though.
They are small.
Yeah.
But hopefully they'll be it'll be vaccinated population. I hope.
I hope.
I hope so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Guys, please
are
get
people
vaccinated. I need to see a show. I need to.
If people are not getting or choosing not to get vaccinated, do you think they're really going to New York to see Broadway?
Yes,
You never
because
know.
the
I
last
mean-
time I went to
I
go
don't know.
see a show, a lot of people were in like freaking cargo shorts and Tevas. So yeah,
Good point.
Ah,
yeah,
I
think
have
those
always
people are-
I always taught Alina, you dress up for the theater.
yes, yes.
I love to dress up for the theater.
I do
I will
too.
always put on a tie every time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Respect. It's out of respect for the people
Respect.
who rehearsed for 4 to 6 weeks and
Yeah.
then have to do this, 8 to 10 shows a week.
And also,
I
I'm
think
not
it'll
paying
be so fun to go back to theater when we're allowed.
I
Like
know.
even like
I know.
small
I can't
small
wait.
things in the neighborhood, like even like small theaters. I want to support them.
Everything.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
want to get.
You know what,
I wanna
though,
get
that-
on stage and I want to get in the audience. I
Yes,
want it all.
yes.
You're saying
Yeah.
the small theaters, like, I love that idea, but then, like, after you go to a couple, you're going to be like, oh, that's right. These are not good.
It's true, but it's always fun when you go with a friend and then talk about it after.
Right.
Yeah.
There's that.
Uh-huh.
There's
You're
that.
always
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
what was that supposed
They
to
did
mean?
it.
But you're
They
always
did it.
taking a chance. It's always
Yeah,
taking a chance.
absolutely.
Like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
You were having so much fun.
You were having so much fun up there.
And we could tell. And we could tell.
Speaking of London, one time I was there on tour with the Comedy Bang Bang live show, and Scott Ackerman, the host of the show, got us tickets to see some theater, and it was literally a room above a bar that this company did this obscure show called The Adding Machine, which none of us had ever heard of or seen before.
I've heard of it.
It was real. They did a great job. They
Really?
did. I
Fun.
couldn't like we got up there first. We got we took a taxi to the theater, and we got out of the cab like, is this the right place? Like, I don't see a theater around here. Then we saw a sign, like a Scotch tape sign in the window of the pub that said "Theater upstairs."
What?
And we're like,
No.
all right.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Got
I
up
love
there,
that.
and it was this tiny little room with like bleacher seats, and so we all couldn't sit together, which was probably good. And then it was like this. They did such a good job in this weird little space of doing the show. They were all great. Like it's like it should not have worked out. It absolutely should not have worked out.
What provoked or what inspired Scott to pick that particular show?
He wanted to pick something that none of us had seen before.
Well,
like he didn't want to like pick like a big show that, and that gamble paid off, I gotta say.
Wow.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
I think sometimes it's fun just to know nothing going into something.
Oh, for
He did
sure.
that in New York one time, the Qualms.
That's the best way.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
But also, like, Paul, sometimes he'll get invited to these big comedy festival things, and like he did Melbourne, Australia in 2011, and I went to visit, and I had like a pass because I was a groupie, and and I didn't know who any of the acts were. It was all these international acts, and I would just kind of pop into places, and it was like knowing nothing, and it was fun. Yeah,
That's so
some
fun.
of it was terrible, and then some of it was like awesome. But it really did. I mean, it was just a hit or miss thing.
Yeah.
You know. But I liked it, and had that experience in Edinburgh too.
I've done that at like a Comic-Con, like back in the day when it was easy just to walk into panels and stuff. But like I remember going to a panel and there's like 5 other people there, and it's Guillermo del Toro, and he's just like talking about the craft and like the movie he's making, so cool. And I'm like, this is great.
Yeah. Just wandered in. Yeah.
Wow.
But you have to be at an event like that to have that experience.
Yeah. I wanted to just like ask you both about in looking at it was weird. It's weird to like look up people I know when we're doing this show.
I
don't always.
I don't want
every now and then I was like, I guess I should know people. Something. You have a couple crossover things. You guys had a few crossover things. Well, some of the things that you guys have done together, which make a lot of sense, like Bob and David and things like that.
Yeah.
Here's the one that made no sense to me. Criminal Minds.
But that's your favorite.
Yes.
That's
so
your
first
favorite
of all,
show.
yours was like long ago. Right?
Yeah.
Like, and I have watched that show.
I played whistleblowing prostitute.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
I mean,
I've watched
your
show.
Whistleblowing prostitute.
Right.
I'm not caught up in the last season. I didn't watch the last season or last couple seasons, but so I have to go back now and watch for Janie, because I think I didn't know you probably when I watched it, or I must have known you. I must have known you. You what? You're in a wig?
I did
She's wearing a crazy wig.
Oh, okay. So I didn't recognize you.
Yeah, I'm like, you go to bed with that show.
Yes, I do.
I'm like, really?
It is very violent.
That is like a lullaby to me.
Her and Jackie Harris Greenberg.
We're friends with someone on the show, but that's not necessarily the connection. But we're friends with Paget Brewster.
Yes.
So back in the day, and you wouldn't think Paul would ever be on it because as a comedian,
no,
really. But back in the day, I would do a lot of casting director workshops in LA. Because I was trying to build my resume.
Right.
And I had done one with the casting person from Criminal Minds a couple of times, I think. And Paget was like, oh, I'm going to tell him I know you. Maybe that'll boost you, blah, blah, blah. And so I auditioned for Whistleblowing Prostitute. Literally just...
Those are the funnest auditions.
Literally just like dressed up like a prostitute. I think I had like a sparkly halter from Forever 21.
Yeah.
And I was like,
oh my God.
It's him. You know,
because there was like a modern day Jack the Ripper or something who was killing sex workers.
Yes.
What? Okay, so was this like? I'm wondering about your audition for this, because I've had a hooker audition for like one of the NCISs, but it was like just me and the director, and it was like I was playing a pregnant hooker, and I was just like, I don't, and then I died, and I was like, what am
personally,
I
feel like, you know, like the way like sex workers portrayed in Hollywood probably are not reality. Like it's just like they're just like whoever, you know. So somehow I get this tiny little part, which ended up being like I wanted 2 or 3 days of work, because
was it really?
Wow.
Even though it was like this thing because of the scene on the street.
Right. The setup of
the shots. And it was shot in downtown LA at night. And they put me in this crazy wig. I mean, they had to, sex worker us up,
Yeah.
And the woman who got, like, I guess, grabbed by the modern day Jack the Ripper, we all knew that there was someone, we all as prostitutes knew.
Word spread.
To be on the lookout for this guy.
Does.
So I had my rape whistle. Okay. And she got grabbed and I was like, and I don't remember necessarily, but was it in
like
slow
a hand
motion?
came down on your
Slow
shoulder
motion?
and then you turned around.
Oh yeah, there was like a slow motion thing, and I'm in like a gold lame. I literally was like, this is it. I'm gonna have stuff from my reel, and I didn't really,
Yep.
I didn't really, but like I was like, I'm a working actress now. Like I'm,
Oh my God.
And then
Network, baby.
Uh-huh.
and in my mind, I like S. Apatha Murkison. I guess she was on Law and Order, but she played a different character at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, well, S. Apatha Murkison, like, they brought her back, like, for a different. I was in a wig. I was like in a wig. You're not going to recognize me, like, like. And then it was just like whatever. That was like. I made my little paycheck or whatever. And then years later.
So many years
The
later.
finale. It was the final season.
It was the final season, yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess like the producers knew that you and Paget were friends. Because they do this thrilling adventure show.
Yeah.
And they wanted you specifically to play this role that recognized the Paget character.
Yes, he was like a conspiracy guy who was convinced that Agent Emily Prentice was targeting him for some sort of government surveillance.
It was a neighbor. You were like a neighbor.
I was a neighbor, yeah. So I had like a conspiracy board with a red yarn and all that stuff. And
you're like Mel Gibson and conspiracy theory.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's where I drew my inspiration.
It's a perfect
crossover. I think it only occurred because that show was on for like 20 million seasons.
Yeah.
They probably were like,
they ran out of people.
Well, I'm excited to catch up on the last season then, because now I get to, and then I have to go back and see Janie's.
Go back to whistleblowing.
But here's the problem: is if you're in the latter half of the episodes,
you're asleep. Well,
she's falling asleep.
I'm at the end. I don't know when.
It's true.
I don't know when he is, but like.
I think I'm in the beginning, so you might.
You might catch him.
All right.
Yeah, I think I'm early enough, but I do have it split up, so it comes back at the end.
I'll try to stay awake, Paul.
Right.
I'll try, but that is my lullaby.
Why don't you do? Here's my suggestion. Since you've been such a loyal fan. Once you're done with the first half of every episode of the series,
just started the second half,
and fast forward. Yes.
That's an excellent idea.
I have a question about when you fall asleep to Criminal Minds. Like, do you have a television in your bedroom, or is it like an iPad situation?
No, I have a television, and I set the sleep timer for an hour.
Okay.
So I usually fall asleep within, 20 to 30 minutes.
Yep.
And then it turns off after I'm well asleep, and I, no.
So you don't know the conclusion of any episode then.
You just see the horrific murders, and then you go to sleep.
Yeah, pretty much. There's the occasional sleepless night that I watch a couple episodes, but yeah.
We tried to watch that show, because we had a friend on it, and it's
gruesome.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm a true crime person.
Yeah.
But that was different because it's not real, like catching real killers or something.
See, that's so funny because I don't like to watch true crime. I like true crime podcasts, but I don't like to watch true crime shows because I don't like to see the real crime.
I don't like when
photos.
they show it. I agree with that.
That makes my stomach turn. And it's funny because you guys were talking at the beginning about podcasts. I'm not I don't listen to podcasts often. I listen to them like if somebody says you've got to listen to this or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't listen. The only podcasts I generally listen to are the crime.
Me too.
Death and serial killers.
Yeah. Me too. I love the crime ones when they do like a deep dive.
Yeah.
I'm
Did you do dating game killer?
Oh yeah, you didn't do that one.
You told me to do that one, and I started it.
I tried.
I started it, and then sometimes I only do half, and then I get distracted because I don't listen frequently enough.
Because crime keeps happening.
Well, yeah.
Here's the problem: is I only listen when I exercise.
Oh.
So
yeah,
unfortunately,
you can't.
There's a lot of neglect.
For me, it's in the car, and I'm in the car a lot.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, or cooking.
I have them on when I'm working during the day. So if
That's
I'm like,
smart. I think he
really,
does that.
I can't. I get too distracted.
He's big.
No, I need.
Yeah, I when I'm like doing chores and stuff, that's when I really like definitely in the car always. But like if I have like a sort of task to do, I will put a podcast on, and
he loves it.
It helps.
He listens all the time.
It's true.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh,
Paul, I just saw you on Rutherford Falls.
Yeah.
I have to give them a shout out because I know Sierra Ornelas, and so yeah. And I was like, I watched because I absolutely will support anything she does because I just think she's the funniest person ever.
Is she the showrunner?
Yeah.
Do you think
And
the first Native American showrunner in history?
Yeah. She's Mexican and Native. She's Navajo and Mexican American, and she's just like, she's one of the funniest people. She did 5 Shoes in a Line. That's where I first met her. I think Dave might have done one of the shows with her or whatever. And then we did a monologue show together. And I was like, oh God, she's so funny. I was like so terrified.
So she's like a performer and a writer.
She is. She's just, she's wonderful. So I was watching to support, and I was like, oh, hey, look, you're on it.
I feel so lucky to have been part of that show, and I think it's a terrific show, but it was such a great experience being there and seeing people, like so many people coming into their own and getting a chance to do something that they never get to do, and it was palpable. It was joyous. It was joyous on that set.
You could really feel that in the show.
Middle of COVID, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everyone's got masks on, but it was still like, it was such a positive place to be, and it was such a fun part that I got to play, and it's one of the rare times that I was happy with my performance. Like I watched it and it made me laugh. You know what I mean? Which that never happened.
It's a funny character because I won't give away the character. Everyone just get Peacock and watch
Peacock and watch it. It's so good.
It's great.
Fun.
It's great.
Yeah.
I hope they get picked up for a second season. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah, good. We had one a clip we wanted to show with the two of you.
Yeah.
Two of you. Do you guys want to set it up at all?
I believe this is the only time that we've been in a did a one-on-one scene together in something.
Because we were not together on Criminal Minds was.
I like to think our characters are
decades apart.
Yeah, I wonder how we could connect that.
But this is from a show called Bajillion Dollar Properties, which is a parody of
$1
Million Dollar Listing and all those real estate reality shows. It's created by Kulap Vilaysack, and
it's so all improvised.
All improvised, yes. And I play a guy named Dean Rosedragon, who is the head of Platinum Realty. His dream is to win this award, the Diamond Dealmaker Award. And Janie plays the presenter at the award show.
But also, we should tell everyone that you should binge Bajillion Dollar Properties, which you can do for free on Pluto.
I love Pluto
TV. Pluto TV is an app where you can stream shows for free, and I think all the seasons now are available.
Yeah, it's 4 seasons, all available on Pluto. This show is so funny, and it was honestly my favorite job that I've ever had. It was so much fun. It's such a great cast.
It's so funny.
Yeah, and so
we were lucky we got to do a little scene together. So.
Oh, fun. All right.
So now we've talked long enough that you forget what the setup is.
What were we doing?
And good luck, everyone.
Here we go.
As president of the voting committee for the Regional Real Estate Awards, it is my pleasure to present to you the final award of the night for Best Brokerage. The 2 nominees are Platinum Realty and Infinity Firm.
Tom Lennon.
Out of his mind.
The winner of the diamond is Platinum Realty.
Yes! Yes!
Oh, Dean, do you have it?
Yes. Here is the fruit salad that we discussed earlier.
Not really eating sugar right now.
This is the Christmas has come early, and here's your present.
I'm Jewish.
Do you remember when we had that conversation before?
Was it Tuesday that we talked?
It was Tuesday. It was Tuesday. This is the prize at the end of the treasure map.
We talked about treasure?
We
talked last week. You were supposed to bring $500,000 in cash, and then I was gonna rig the award ceremony for you because you totally weren't gonna win.
I do remember that now. It occurs to me that that's what this briefcase is full of. It's full of $500,000.
Oh.
I'd like for this exchange to be over.
Right. Me too. I have money to count.
In a private place.
Yes.
Where no one is around.
We're doing an addition on our property.
I'm gonna stop you there.
Yeah.
Congratulations. If you ever need to sell that place, you know who to call.
We have someone.
I'm going to go away.
We did it!
You did it! Very
It was
nice.
good. It was so good.
Very
It was
good.
fun. I really like the show, and Paul's character. The one thing you didn't say about Dean Rose Dragon, which is funny, is that he started his own business with just a $10 million loan from his father.
That's right.
And, like he built his business from scratch with merely was it a $10 million loan?
I think something like that.
$10 million loan from his father.
That sounds
It's a
really
funny show,
familiar.
Yeah.
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 You guys, it was so much fun having you.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, yes.
So
Anytime.
nice to talk to different people.
To talk to people, isn't it? I mean, it really is. Will
Yes.
you, when in person things can happen, will you have like your streaming show like in one space?
We
We're
were
talking
just
about it,
talking
yeah.
about that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
going live with it because we just started. Like she said, we started this during the pandemic, so it's kind
Yeah.
of all new. But yeah, I would love to do that and then do it in a live space and then also stream it. So
That is a thing
Yeah.
that I want to take out of the pandemic that I want to keep, because it really was, like being forced to do shows online. It never occurred to me like, oh, we can reach so many people
Yes.
in different places that it like,
Yeah.
I don't know, you just never think about it, because like you're so worried about, I got to fill this room
right.
physically with all these people, but it's like, I definitely, as much as I'm looking forward to getting back on stage, I still want to do these online things.
Or
Yes.
you could do like a hybrid, right, where you're on stage and you can sell
Can't
tickets.
do that.
No, I like that because so many people they don't have the opportunity in the towns they live maybe to see the type of entertainment they want to see live.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Well, I think, like we do a live variety show, so I think we want to get back to definitely doing that live, but then also to keep this and be able to stream it while we're doing it live on a stage platform, so we have people local and then also our friends that we've kept all over the globe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then you could be live in a theater, and then you could even like beam someone in as a guest who's not even in the town. Like it's just that hybrid thing could work.
Like the Drew Barrymore show does.
Yes, I know. Yeah. She
Did you
does
see?
that.
I know I don't want to. I don't want
like-
to start up a new topic as we're winding down.
I don't care.
That's fine.
Did you see the Oprah interview with Elliot Page?
Not with Elliot Page, no. But I saw it with Obama.
It was a good interview.
They're in. Maybe she did the same thing with Obama.
She
I
did.
can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Were they
So
beamed
they
them in?
have like
Blew my
identical
mind.
furniture and little end tables and everything. To
Well,
make
she
it
got
look
that from
like they're in the
Drew.
same room. She what?
Really?
She got that from
got that
Drew.
from Drew?
Drew did it first because they were trying to figure out how, like she started her show in the pandemic, and so they started like beaming
Did she
people
do
in
it the
from
same way where
LA.
it looks like they're in the same room?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
It's
So they
uncanny.
Well, I could not
Yeah.
believe it because when
It's
she
crazy.
said, "Oh, I'm in Hawaii," and then Elliot Page goes, "Well, I'm in Toronto," I was like,
and it looks like they're in the same stage.
like sorcery had happened.
Yes.
Like, because not only did they have the same furniture and table, their glassware
Yeah,
was
exactly.
the same.
Wow.
Wild.
Yeah.
And the proportions or perspective or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
was like
it's
so
perfect.
perfect.
Yes.
And
Identical.
we're looking at is I guess like a zoom of one person.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're looking at the person.
It's
I
wild.
could not believe it.
It's wild. Yeah, it's great.
All right.
Out
so
of
we have a
necessity.
standard to meet.
Drew Barrymore, you're an innovator. We
I like
respect
Drew.
you.
I like Drew Barrymore.
I do like
love
Drew.
Drew.
Yeah,
She's
Drew's
sweet.
cool. Yeah.
She's very sweet.
But I also want to just, like, as we close this out, I think, like, your podcast is going to be a great thing to listen to also help process this whole thing, because I haven't begun to, like, I'm still,
right.
Like, putting things, like, in different parts of my brain, like, I can't process it right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's going to take years. I think we're all going to go through, like, a weird grieving process because we're still in it.
Yeah, we are.
And so, like, even just the anxiety of, like, going back out again and, like, having all that information. But I think your podcast of this whole thing is going to be, and everybody who's been doing this, it's going to help process.
Yeah.
Go back and watch it.
We have not mentioned the name of the podcast, which is Stay F Homecast.
But you know what I call it?
Homekins.
Homekins.
But my brain, I always call it Stay the F Homekins.
Stay the F home?
Yeah.
Well, it's
Stay the F Homekins.
With the Tompkinses, and then we're discussing if we're gonna have a post-pandemic iteration.
Yeah, maybe
I think you
like
should.
Monthly or something,
Yeah. We don't know.
Monthly, but something that's manageable for us as life starts to.
And what's the marker? Like what's the marker for the
how do we know where it's post-pandemic? Right.
Exactly.
How do we know?
When
we stop crying,
it becomes a conflict. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it's like, oh no, we can't do it because this other thing is happening. I guess that's when we'll know.
I guess so.
Figure it out. Yeah.
I just wanted to say one more thing about your podcast was that.
And then I have another thing.
I listened to the first episode, and it was like, it was sort of that. It's kind of how we all felt at the beginning of the pandemic, where it was like, okay, we can do this. I mean, we're in there, and it's like this energy of like this adrenaline rush almost.
Yeah.
Like, we can do this. And then like you go to May, and already they're like, okay, we're still doing it.
Yes.
All right. Okay, we can do this. Yeah, like that.
It's
the tone.
We do not hide our
which is great, which is perfect because we are all going through the same things.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's going to be great to listen to it and
like Claudia and I, we do this show and we do like a morning show on Mondays, and it's kind of the same sort of thing where you don't hide what you're feeling.
Yeah.
She and I are always sort of the yin and yang because
I'm always depressed.
She's always depressed, and I'm like, well, yeah, but this good thing happened.
That's like
and I'm like, we're all gonna die.
And I'm like, but we lived through yesterday. So, but it's funny. It's fun to like chart that with you as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. Thanks
I hope it is.
It is. It really is.
It is.
To have like an outside, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because we're in our thing all the time. It's good to have other people's perspectives that are similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for having us. It was so nice.
This is a ball, guys. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, this was fun. Thanks.
And I hope we see you in person sometime soon.
And we'll share the link again too once it's up on Friday.
Tomorrow. I know.
Absolutely.
All right.
Tomorrow.
Well,
and we'll mention it on
today.
our podcast.
Please do. Yes. So go follow Janie and Paul on Instagram and subscribe to us if you haven't already. What are you waiting for?
And thank you to all the new subscribers and people who have been commenting. We've gotten a couple of nice phone calls and messages this last week, and it means a lot. So thanks for hanging in there with us.
All right, thank you all, and we will see you Monday morning.
Maybe.
Bye. Thank you to Paul and Janie.
Bye. We don't die.
Bye.
We're not gonna die.